So the Little Jaws SMG, not necessarily the most popular pick when it comes to unstable bomber builds, but now that I finally bought the Starchrom weekly system and got my hands on one, this gun legitimately surprised me, coming from using the unstable bomber sniper this entire time. But in today's video, I'm going to show you the best way to make it do the most optimal damage possible, because trust me, it is a whole lot of fun. But really quick, I do have to thank the channel's partner, Instant Gaming. If you guys are looking for cheap games on Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, check out the link in the description down below, or if you want to join the free monthly game giveaway, the link is also right next to that. So first and foremost, let's go over how to get the Little Jaws, which is from, go figure, the Wish Machine for 8,000 Starchrom. What the Little Jaws does is every 15 bullets you trigger a unstable bomber proc. This delay is 0.3 seconds, and doing this, every 0.1 second of delay will increase the bomber proc by 20%, so by default you get 60% more bomber damage when using the Little Jaws as is. It also does say when you hit enemies affected by unstable bomber, the current unstable bomber final damage is increased by 10%, and weak spot hits double the damage increase, so it would be 20%. And now, unfortunately, I am running the sleek leather jacket, which gives me more bomber damage based on my distance away from the targets, but the optimal armor for this build, and I'm sorry I can't provide it for you guys, I'm literally time gated by the game because I cannot get more Starchrom, it would be the explosive front top frag. This will just increase your unstable bomber procs by 30% across the board, which is absolutely perfect. But the most important part is the delay. The delay is another 0.3 seconds, and as we previously stated with the Little Jaws, every 0.1 seconds, the final bomber proc gets 20% more damage. So the 60% bomber damage that is already inherent on the Little Jaws now turns into 120%, which is absolutely insane, but it doesn't stop there, because you have to remember the actual jacket just overall boosts unstable bomber by another 30, so Little Jaws is getting 150% damage to unstable bomber, which is absolutely ridiculous. So you could be doing 60% more damage than you see in this video, only on the unstable bomber procs though, not the overall weapon itself, but it is really freaking amazing. So the first thing I'll go over is our attachments for the gun, go over into accessories, and right now I will tell you, when you're using this gun, I would recommend you build for magazine size. I say magazine size because with the every 15 bullets, you don't want to be reloading all the time. You want to have a lot of uptime with doing the most damage possible, and we have a few mods to help basically make that even better. The first thing we got is the weighted SMG mag. This will give us a bonus 10 bullets. Ignore the stability, it's an SMG, don't really need it, but this is the only magazine that increases magazine size, so definitely get it. It says how to get it right there. For the grip, we went with the Tactical Cobra just for the accuracy bonus to get us 100 accuracy. Absolutely insane to get 100 accuracy out of an SMG, but it's definitely noticeable. For the optic, we just went with the one that gives us the best stats with our aiming speed, mobility, and stability. Honestly, you could really use any of these, as the only ones that really do affect your range are the tactical ones, but I just absolutely hate using those in first person when I played the beta, so I would say stick to the holographic or maybe the reflex. And then finally, the compensator. Now, this is where I'm going to get a little bit of flack. I wanted the 100% accuracy, but if you don't want to go that route and you want a little bit more range for damage fall-off purposes, you could definitely go with the Osprey suppressor or even the camouflage suppressor, as it will increase your range, but I think the hit to your accuracy is just simply not worth it. I like having a SMG that literally beams things from downrange, and it's absolutely amazing. And this is post-recording Termex. I kind of completely forgot to tell you guys this, but the heavy style frame is what I used on the Little Jaws to increase my magazine size by 48% at the expense of a little bit of reload speed. Now for the armor, I know a lot of people are going to say run crit, but bomber is not guaranteed to crit, and bomber is only benefited by weak spot damage when it comes to this weapon specifically, and I would recommend to run the Gulped Lore in tandem with this, because the weak spot, the damage cycle, it allows you to do a whole bunch of damage. So what I would traditionally do, let's go over to my target dummy up here. If I'm fighting a boss, my traditional damage cycle is to just lay into with my sniper, just like this, as quickly as possible, then swap over to my SMG and do the most damage with the SMG possible. Now, I know a lot of people they're gonna say, Termex, that number's lower than one mag of my Shrapnel Scar build. Yes, I do get that, but not everyone wants to play the same thing. Alright, calm down. Unstable Bomber is definitely a preferred playstyle, and I do want to note, like I said previously at the beginning of the video, we are missing out on 60% damage because Starchrom is a time-gated resource, and I can't show that off, but the build still works out beautifully in this case, and it allows you to do the maximum amount of unstable bomber damage if you do want to go that route. So for the armor, right now we are running Agents. Now Agents is just there to build up our weak spot damage because we are still using the sniper as our primary, but that weak spot damage and bullet saver, every precise kill we get the weak spot damage up to 45%. This is regardless of what we're doing. So what I do when I'm running silos or fighting ads, I make sure that my final kill with my snipers are weak spots because it's the only thing I'm aiming for. I get that 45% weak spot damage, swap over to my SMG, which will gain that weak spot damage, so I could do a bunch of damage, which would boost the actual explosion based on the features for the little jaws. To amplify this even further, you click your O key, go over into your cradle, and you can see here, we get 20% damage when holding SMGs, and we reload 10% of our magazine capacity from the reserves while defeating an enemy. Another important one that matches this build's playstyle is Tactical Combo. We get 25% weapon damage for 4 seconds after swapping our weapons, or simply reloading. Also, after reloading, we get a 25% increase to our unstable bomber damage, which is going to be very beneficial. The rest of these are just quality of life and don't really benefit the build too much, but make sure you have those 3 that I just mentioned. The other armor we are using is the Renegade Mask. Now, you could use 3 pieces of the Renegade set. Personally, I am not rocking that route just because I don't find myself needing the 40% weak spot damage as we have enough of it already, but it gives us the weak spot damage and the reload speed, which is a subsequential DPS increase because we have less downtime on our weapon. For the mods, the helmet mod, we do have momentum up. Fire rate is plus 8% for the first 50% of the magazine, and the weapon damage is plus 25% for the other half of the magazine. For our mask, we do have delayed blast. Before the bomb explodes, every 5 hits taken will increase the unstable bomber's damage. This is actually increased even more if you have the coat I was talking to earlier, because it would increase the delay from 0.3 to 0.6. So all the bullets you put into a target will increase the damage of the next proc. So we have 5.6, 5.2, 5.7, 5.7. So we had 5.7 on a few of those procs, even though we were at the other end of the mag because we were pumping more bullets into the actual target. On our gloves, we just have the 15% weapon damage with some really nice rolls. We have weak spot damage, weapon damage, and damage against great ones. Pretty damn good rolls, and it just overall increases our build's damage. Over to our boots, we have Covered Advance. Now this, if you take no damage for 4 seconds, you get 20% weapon damage for 30 seconds. And now during that 30 seconds, if you get hit, the damage benefit still stays, so this is honestly just a free damage increase. This is on a piece of gear where you could just go for weapon damage or another source of weak spot. If you guys do not have this already, I would actually recommend, if you don't have the 20% weapon damage, just simply go for the normal weapon damage on the boots. You can never really go wrong with that. For the bomber jacket, right now we just have basic weapon damage because a lot of torso mods are simply for survivability, and honestly I have not noticed any reason to need survivability mods as of late, so I just went with the normal weapon damage. If you wanted to and you wanted to use the sniper a little bit more, you could definitely swap out the weapon damage for weak spot damage, as you would get more benefits out of it in that scenario. And for the final thing, our pants, we have every 5 bullets consumed in your magazine grants 4% weapon damage, which is capped to 20%. The simple math there is after you shoot 20 bullets, you're going to get 20% more damage for the rest of the mag. And you may be wondering this whole time, how on earth are you shooting 60 bullets but it feels like 100? Well, let me tell you, going over into our actual mod on our little jaws, when triggering Unstable Bomber, automatically refill 10% of your magazine. So if you look in the bottom right of my screen when I shoot this mag, look how our magazine just jumps up randomly. As you see there, we had 5 left over during the reload, unfortunately, but that is what feeds this gun and keeps the damage over and over again. And this could be even better if you had a lone wolf set to increase your magazine size even further if you wanted to take the extra routes. But at a very minimum, per mag, we are going to get a minimum of 4 unstable bomber procs, because obviously 15 times 4 is 60, and we have 59, and we're going to get 1 or 2 regenerations throughout the entire mag, which is very, very good. You could also run, which I have on my sniper here, Unstable Bomber. When you trigger it, it just boosts the Unstable Bomber damage as well. But this, I feel like, runs out a little too quick on the SMG to where I would just use it on the sniper, where it's kind of a guaranteed proc on a headshot. And if you guys want recommendations for Deviants, I just like running the wall because I like it. But if you want to run the wolf, if you don't know about the wolf, you get this from the hound. If that thing is attacking another target or it has aggro away from you, the player, you get a nice 24-27% damage benefit to your build if you just want to go that extra mile. But for phase these 3 right now at the time of this video being posted, I could solo all the hard mode silos. I could solo all the hard mode bosses right now. Is it the best, highest damage dealing build? No. But if you want to take the approach of Little Jaws and have a little bit of fun with Unstable Bomber, this is definitely the build for you and the way I would recommend you spec this build. If you did enjoy today's video, it really does mean a lot if you hit the like button down below, as it does spread out my content to more people in the Once Human community. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on another video from me, guys. Stay safe, and I will see you all later.